I was having y'all back with another video. Got some small breaking news. The Redskins have re-signed Nate Orchard, linebacker slash defensive end. I want to talk about why I like this re-signing. And also I want to talk about how the Redskins and the Cardinals have outsmarted the NFL. Let's get it. Alright, first of all, the Redskins have re-signed Nate Orchard, which I'm a big fan of. Even though when people are reporting it, they're saying he's a linebacker, mostly because he played outside linebacker in the 3-4. But I'm pretty sure he will actually be a defensive end for the Redskins as we switch to the 4-3. He's way more like a Ryan Kerrigan, Montez Sweat, Ryan Anderson, Jordan Brailford than he is a Reuben Foster, Shondion Hamilton, Cole Holcomb. So just call him a defensive end. And I like how we're adding depth so far in free agency. Like I've said in previous videos, it would have been nice to go get those big splashy names out there, but we're getting very quality depth for very cheap deals, and a lot of them are 1-year prove-it deals, so they're going to play their heart out for that next contract. Nate Orchard is 27. He's a former second-round pick for the Browns back in 2015. He was in the final year of his rookie contract when the Browns cut him back in 2018 during the preseason, and then he was very shortly with the Bills, Chiefs, Seahawks, and the Dolphins before getting released during the 2019 preseason, and then he signed a 1-year deal with us back in the previous November of the 2019 season, and he finished the year with us. When Ryan Kerrigan got hurt, which he literally never did until the 2019 season, so the Redskins were like, wait, what? We have to find a replacement for Ryan Kerrigan? They found Nate Orchard out there, signed him right before week 13 when we played the Panthers. Ironically, Ron Rivera, where he had his most impactful game. He's one of the main reasons we ended up winning that game. And a lot of people say that game is one of the main reasons that Ron Rivera got fired. So shouts out to Nate Orchard for playing a part in Ron Rivera coming to the Redskins. And shouts out to Ron Rivera by thanking him by going to get him and bring him back. I mean, if anybody saw how much of an impact he can have on the field, it was Ron Rivera. I mean, it was crazy. Everybody was like, who is this number 54 guy out there making plays against the Panthers? And the only reason he came in, like I said, was because Ryan Kerrigan was hurt. And then also Montez Sweat suffered an in-game injury, and Ryan Anderson was ejected. So Nate Orchard was just thrown out there into the wolves without even really being expected to do so, especially the week before that game. He's such a good story because he was ready to give up on football with his struggles of finding a real home, a real football team to stay on. And then he went out there against the Panthers and made the most of his moment. Nate Orchard had a sack in that game, and he also had a fumble recovery off of another unsung hero, Chris Odom, who we randomly brought in right before that game. After Chris Odom forced a fumble, Nate Orchard recovered it. That boy Nate Orchard had himself a game and pretty much killed his audition to make the 2020 Redskins roster, at least as a depth piece. I'm not exactly sure what this will mean for people further down in the depth chart, like Jordan Brailford, who was a high ceiling, low floor type of guy that we brought in through the 2019 draft in the 7th round. Because not even just defensive wise, Nate Orchard looks like a great special teams player too. He has a lot of potential there. Against the Giants in week 16, he blocked a punt, which was the first Redskins player to block a punt since 2015. So he made the most out of the minimal snaps he was getting with the Redskins those last few games of last season. I mean, he really put it all on the line, and he got a well-deserved contract as a reward. I mean, he went through it all. I mean, right before we signed him, before the Carolina game, he had 10 free agent workouts with NFL teams in just the 2019 season alone. Just imagine going to 10 job interviews, and they're not even talking to people interviews. It's you working your tail off, showing everything that you can do physically and mentally. And then he went out there against Carolina, had 4 tackles, a sack, and that fumble recovery like I talked about, which was the last play of the game to seal the game away. A lot of people also may know him as one of the more well-known people from the 2018 Cleveland Browns Hard Knocks. He was one of the people that they followed around the most. And also some people may know him from high school. While playing high school football in Utah, he dominated on both sides of the ball. He had 17.5 sacks and also had 58 catches for 1,300 plus yards and 17 touchdowns. And that's all from one player. And that just kind of shows how athletic he is. That he can go out there and be a dominant pass rusher during his high school days and also be a dominant receiver. Of course, we don't expect him to go out there and play both defense and offense at the NFL level, but I just like how his athleticism allowed him to be that versatile through high school. And if he just applies all of that athleticism and keeps that chip on his shoulder that he had in 2019, he should be a great depth piece of defensive end and a very impactful special teams contributor. I love the signing. Again, we're not getting big splash, huge highlight names in free agency so far, but they are making a lot of very smart signings. Versatile players with chips on their shoulder, 1-year deals so players play their heart out to try to get that next deal, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you have to trust the Redskins at this point with how they picked up Ereck Flowers last year when everybody expected him to be terrible, and then they turned him into a $10 million a year guard. I wish we would have re-signed him, but you can see where I'm going with this, where the Redskins are not necessarily going to get big names, paying them all kinds of extra money. They're going for the smarter, cheaper guys with a lot of potential that can end up being just as impactful, if not more impactful, than those big name guys out there, but we have them for very cheap. And we have a far better front office and coaching staff this time around, so I expect to get more out of these signings than we've gotten out of the previous ones, including Ereck Flowers. And now I want to talk about how the Redskins and the Cardinals have outsmarted the NFL. I'm here to talk about the Redskins mostly, that's why I'm going to keep saying the Cardinals really low. It's really quick, honestly, but the Redskins and the Cardinals have found a loophole in the policy that the NFL is forcing on teams to not officially announce that players have signed until they have officially signed, which wasn't possible until after 4 p.m. today, when free agency in the 2019 league year actually started. So the way that the Redskins and the Cardinals worked around this is that they're basically just replying and retweeting to other people confirming that the Redskins and the Cardinals have signed specific players. I mean, one tweet from the Redskins official Twitter account literally says, @Adam Schefter reports that we have agreed to terms with safety Sean Davis. And then they got the little thinking emoji. And then another tweet, they even said, "This is something new, so stay with us. NFL policy currently prohibits teams from making any official announcements. What we will do is tweet about the reports floating around." And then they put report, "We have agreed to terms with cornerback Kendall Fuller." So I like how they're finessing their way around this. And I also like this new Redskins social media team anyway. This new team that's been hired recently, like the past month or so. This new Redskins Twitter team is great. I mean, they seem up to date. They seem modern. They're kind of funny. They're like a breath of fresh air for Redskins social media. There's a lot of Redskins Twitter and Instagram accounts that are doing their thing, but it's nice to see the official Redskins Twitter having fun. It just adds another level of breath of fresh air that comes along with this new Ron Rivera era. And I like how witty they're being by working around the NFL's policies. And don't forget, the Redskins were one of like a handful of teams that didn't get hacked a couple of months ago when somebody hacked a bunch of NFL teams' official Twitters and changed their profile picture to being just a blank picture, and they did some other stuff to their accounts. Nothing major, like something that could cause chaos and that was really harmful. Just something minor to basically just show that those accounts had been hacked. Redskins were one of the very few Twitter accounts to not be hacked. So shouts out to the Redskins Twitter for going really strong these past couple of months, and I love how they're being witty, funny, consistent, and up to date with everything. I like this new Redskins era. Would be nice to go and get a big flashy name in free agency, but you know what I'm saying, these very smart, under the radar signings are cool too, especially with a coaching staff that can get the most out of players. But that's it for this report. Like I said, later on this evening, maybe tomorrow morning, I'm gonna talk about which free agents are still available at positions that the Redskins really need. I'm gonna break down how much salary cap space we still have to go out there and spend on those players, give a Trent update, Brandon Sheriff, Ryan Kerrigan, all of that type of stuff. Basically just a where do we go from here type of video. And I'm gonna get that to y'all either later on this evening or tomorrow morning, afternoon or something. Sometime within the next 24 hours. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure you like this video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe if you haven't. Along with these free agency videos, I'm about to start getting y'all a lot of draft videos out there. I still have a lot of creative videos to get out to y'all, like the Redskins jersey and helmet ideas part 2. Also the analysis of the Eric Coryell offense that Scott Turner's gonna run, and also the why the Redskins shouldn't and won't draft Tua second overall. Stuff like that. I gotta get those to y'all, but Redskins free agency has been crazy lately, along with all of this coronavirus chaos. But I got y'all, I promise I do. Appreciate the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.